Welcome back to The Explainer. So today we're tackling a concept that gets thrown around a lot. And let's be honest, it usually has a ton of mystical fluff attached to it. I'm talking about manifestation. But today, we're absolutely stripping away the magic tricks. We're going to see if we can look at manifestation not as some secret cosmic lottery, but as a highly practical, incredibly grounded alignment of the self. And this is all based on some really profound insights from Sadhguru. If you've ever found yourself wondering why some people just seem to effortlessly create the lives they want, while the rest of us are constantly hitting roadblocks, well, you are in exactly the right place. Let's dive right in and see if we can decode the actual mechanics of creation together.
All right, section 1, the wishing tree trap or a walk into paradise. To really understand our own minds, we have to look at this absolutely fascinating yogic story of a tired man who accidentally wanders into paradise. He finds his beautiful, super inviting tree and he just falls fast asleep underneath it. So picture this. He wakes up a few hours later, right? He's well rested, but he's starving. He starts thinking about all his absolute favorite foods, and boom, instantly they just appear right in front of him. Now, hungry people don't usually ask a lot of questions, so he just eats. Moving into the second hour, his stomach is full, and he thinks, man, I could really use a drink. Instantly, all the best drinks you could imagine appear, so he drinks. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. He didn't realize he was actually sitting under a cup of ricksha. That's a magical wishing tree. Literally whatever he asked for, he got. So by hour 3, the alcohol is kicking in, and his mind just starts racing. He looks around and thinks, wait a minute, food came out of nowhere, drinks came out of nowhere, there have to be ghosts around here. And yep, instantly, ghosts appear. By hour 4, he's absolutely terrified. He thinks, oh no, these ghosts are going to torture and kill me. And immediately, they do. He does. I mean, think about it. He had literally everything at his fingertips, and his own unorganized mind is what killed him. Which brings us to part 2, taming the monkey mind, the real danger within. Because if you look closely, the villain of our story wasn't the ghost, or even the tree. The tree was literally just doing its job. The absolute fatal flaw here was the man's own unestablished, chaotic mind. The tree simply magnified exactly what was already happening inside his head.
You know, in yoga, there's actually a very specific term for this kind of chaotic, unestablished mind. It's called markata, which translates directly to monkey. Now, Charles Darwin famously told us that we were all monkeys and eventually our tails fell away so we could become human. Well, the tail definitely fell away, but as Sadhguru humorously points out, we absolutely kept the monkey mind. That monkey is still very much alive and kicking inside most of us today. And this brilliantly illustrates why a monkey is just the perfect metaphor for our minds. It boils down to 2 essential qualities. Number 1, unnecessary movement. I mean, you don't have to teach a monkey to jump around, right? It's just what it does naturally. Our minds are exactly the same, constantly jumping from one totally random thought to another. And number 2, constant imitation. Think about it. If you're monkeying someone, you're imitating them. And imitation is practically a full-time job for the human mind. So when these 2 qualities, unnecessary movement and constant imitation, are the things running the show, what we end up creating in the world is going to be completely accidental and totally haphazard. Which brings us to a crucial question, and I really want you to pause and actually reflect on this for a second. If literally everything you have ever desired, every passing whim, every sudden want you've ever had landed inside your house today, could you actually live with it? If you're being totally honest with yourself, the answer is probably no way. You'd be crushed under the weight of it all, and that is the ultimate danger of getting what an unorganized mind wants. We are constantly changing our minds, constantly wishing for conflicting things. If all of that manifested at once, it would destroy us. So how do we fix this? Let's look at section 3, organizing the 4 dimensions and becoming the Kalpavriksha. The absolutely incredible news here is that we don't actually need to wander through the forest hoping to stumble upon a magical wishing tree. The secret is that you don't find the Kalpavriksha, you become it. Let's walk through Sadhguru's core framework step by step to see how this actually happens. Step 1 is organizing the mind. Once your mind is organized and completely unwavering, step 2 just happens naturally. Your emotions start to follow your thoughts. Once your thoughts and emotions are totally aligned, step 3 kicks in, and your fundamental life energies get organized in that exact same direction. And then finally, step 4, your very physical body aligns. When these 4 dimensions are held firmly in one unwavering direction for a certain period of time, you can manifest what you want without even lifting a finger. Your whole system literally becomes a magnet for your intention.
Now, moving into part 4, compulsive versus conscious action and changing how we operate. I do need to throw a massive warning label on this. If we don't step up to control and properly direct these physical, mental, emotional, and energetic actions, this whole process becomes incredibly self-destructive.
When we look at the compulsive state, it's pretty easy to see why most of the world lives here. Just think about our technology for a second. It was supposed to make our lives beautiful and easy, an absolute boon, right? But because we act so compulsively, we've kind of turned it into a curse that's threatening the very planet we live on. We've got incredible physical comfort, sure, but terrible, terrible anxiety. On the flip side, the conscious state is all about intentional creation. Sadhguru gives this great example of a simple-minded person who goes to a temple, has absolute, unwavering faith that Shiva will build him a house, and guess what? It happens. Now, is Shiva literally coming down out of the sky with a hammer and nails? No, God isn't going to lift a little finger for you. But what that simple, pure faith does is completely wipe out all those negative, conflicting thoughts. Thoughts like, oh, I don't have the money, or is this even actually possible? By removing the friction of doubt, their conscious intention becomes incredibly powerful.
And that brings us to, honestly, one of the most profound takeaways from all of this. Quote, what is possible and not possible is not your business, it's nature's business. See, we constantly sabotage our own manifestations because we base our future possibilities completely on our past experiences. Think about it. If I ask you right now, can you stand up and walk? You'd say, yes, of course. But if I ask, can you fly off your chair? You'd say, no way. Why? Because of your past experience. But deciding that what hasn't happened yet can never happen, well, that's kind of a disgrace to the human spirit. Literally everything we have created on this planet was once considered completely impossible. Your only business is just to strive for what you want with absolute clarity. Leave the how and the isn't possible entirely up to nature.
So what does this all lead to? Let's look at section 5, the ultimate goal, defining true pleasantness. Because fundamentally, whether someone is striving to build this massive, lucrative career or they just want to sit quietly in a temple somewhere, what they're actually seeking at the core is pleasantness. Pleasantness within themselves and around them. Let's actually map this out on the table here, because this is where manifestation gets demystified into really grounded, practical goals across the human experience. When that pleasantness happens in your physical body, we call it health and pleasure. When it happens in your mind, we call it peace and joy. When it happens in your emotion, it expresses itself as love and compassion. And finally, when it happens in your fundamental energy, we experience absolute blissfulness and ecstasy. This right here is the ultimate goal. This is literally all any human being on Earth is actually looking for. All right, bringing it home with section 6, becoming the creator, your daily commitments. If this true, comprehensive pleasantness is really what we want, we have to step up, take direct action, and commit ourselves to actually creating it. It naturally organizes the mind. To do this, Sadhguru suggests starting every single morning with one very simple but super powerful commitment. Read this with me. Today, wherever I go, I will create a peaceful, loving, and joyful world. It's just a pure, simple commitment. And look, you might mess up. You might get cut off in traffic an hour later and totally lose your cool. But for a truly committed person, there's really no such thing as failure. If you fall down 100 times in a day, it just means you learned 100 new lessons. By holding on to this unwavering commitment day after day, your mind naturally organizes itself. Your emotions fall into line, your energy follows, and your physical body follows. To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final, genuinely empowering thought. That which is the very source of creation is actually functioning within you, right now, every single moment of your life. The only real question is, have you kept your access to it open? By organizing your 4 dimensions, your body, mind, emotion, and energy, you unlock that access. You stop being merely a piece of creation getting tossed around by a chaotic monkey mind, and you transition into becoming a true creator yourself. Thank you so much for joining me on The Explainer today. Take this framework, organize those dimensions, and go see what you can manifest tomorrow.